Hello and welcome to the It's Cool to Be Different podcast. I am your host, Carl, and I am with my lovely guests. Say hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome to the It's Cool to Be Different podcast, where we explore different themes and the lives and minds of people, adults with learning disabilities. Started off quite strongly last month with our introduction to Create and all the things that we do here. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us again. Let's introduce everybody, right? So we have our lovely
Miriam Adams,
Liam,
and Molly.
hello, everyone. So I'm going to ask you very quickly for an interesting fact about yourselves. Is that a bit short notice? I reckon you can give us an interesting fact. Like, for example, I could give you an interesting fact about Liam. Liam, you like interesting facts. So could you give us an interesting fact about yourself? What do you collect, for example?
stamp,
Okay, can you tell us a little bit about your stamps real quickly? How many have you got?
over 58,000.
Over 58,000, which is a phenomenal amount of stamps. And what's your favourite?
Jigsaw puzzle stamp.
And is it shaped like one, or has it got? Is it?
No,
on it?
it's shaped. Well,
Great, wicked, excellent. Thank you very much. And we're going to talk about that in a future podcast about hobbies and interests. So keep your eyes peeled and your ears peeled for the hobbies and interest episode, because Liam will be on there showing us his 50,000 plus stamps, or a small selection of them anyway. There's a lot of them. Thank you. Miriam, could you give us an interesting fact about yourself?
I love being a Christian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're a Christian, aren't you? And you go to church every Sunday.
Yes, that's right.
And what's your favourite time of year?
Christmas.
It is. You're seeing your face at Christmas when we're all celebrating it and we're making all the stuff, and the nativity that we did,
Yeah.
which people can watch on the YouTube channel. And Greg watches it a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah.
We understand. So you're a Christian and you love Christmas.
Yeah,
And you love celebrating every Sunday.
I do.
Wonderful. And Molly, an interesting fact about yourself.
I like fashion, makeup, and retail.
Yeah. So do you do a lot of shopping?
Yeah,
Do you?
yeah.
Every day, every week? Or do you have a routine with it?
I'd say mainly every day. No,
Wow.
yeah.
Like going around and looking
Yeah.
and seeing the current stuff. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, you three. But we also have one more, because as always, we have got our GoPro on. And behind the scenes today, we have our good friend Greg. Let's say hello to Greg. Hello, Greg.
Hello, Greg.
Interesting fact about yourself, Greg. Greg can be a bit shy sometimes, but that's okay. Today, you're going to make some great progress. So give us an interesting fact.
How many times have you watched the Nativity on YouTube?
Yeah.
Hundreds.
Hundreds of times.
What's
You
your
love-
favourite part?
What's your favourite Christmas song, hymn? Is it hymns?
Yeah.
Carol.
Carol or hymn?
I don't know.
Yes, you do. We know.
What about Come and Join the Celebration?
Yeah. You sing along to that one a lot. So Greg loves Christmas as well, don't you? And as part of the Nativity, you were very vocal and singing along, just like Miriam was.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. I thought that would just be nice to introduce everybody to get us going for the episode before we talk about what we're going to do. So that was our nice little icebreaker. We are a place for adults with learning disabilities where we provide work experience, and it's a space that allows for flexibility in terms of how we approach our work, isn't it? Because we're going to talk today about the things that we find, the work experience that we've had, the difficulties that we've had with some of that, but what you enjoyed as part of it. We've then got a very special interview, and then we're going to talk about misconceptions and the challenges that you might have had, whether people made adaptations and things for you in the workplace. And then we're going to talk about work and, again, promote ourselves, I suppose, and how we support you and what you like about it and what's different from, let's say, the more challenging workplaces you've had. So my first question is going to be about the work experience you've had, just in kind of like short detail, because you've all had very different work experiences outside of work. So I'll start with Liam, because you're at the top of my list on the lovely notes that Adam's done for me. So Liam, just you've had a variety of work experience. Tell us about them. Just what have you done? Just very briefly, what kind of things have you done since leaving school?
Well, I worked in 2 charity shops.
Yeah.
I volunteered at my mum's past school.
So you've worked in a school?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I've worked in Tesco's, done a Sheffield United work experience, gardening
Yeah.
course, and then I had a job as a gardener,
Wow. So you've done quite a lot. What was your favourite?
working in Tesco's.
You enjoyed working in the Tesco's. Okay, that's interesting. So what was it about that experience that you liked?
Stocking shelves,
Yeah.
being more organised.
So you like things being nice, neat, organised and tidy and things like that. Great. Well, we'll come on to it in a little bit more detail afterwards. So thank you. Miriam, your experiences. You've worked in a school as well, like Liam, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So what kind of school was it that you worked in?
Well, I worked at 2 schools in Warwick,
Yeah.
and I mainly worked at the reception desk with a lovely lady, like a business and admin administrative
Right.
and reception kind of work and welcoming and greeting people.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. So we'll circle back
love
around
it.
all of these. So Molly, you've had similar but also some very other different work experience. So what kind of things have you done?
Charity shop work, doing stock take, shop floor, like
Yeah.
with the fashion, organising clothes, making sure it's neat and tidy for the customers, and till work experience.
Yeah.
I did a bit of stock in M&S.
Yeah, pretty nice. Working in M&S.
Organising food,
Yeah.
shelves, loads of boxes. And then in hairdressing, I did making drinks for the customers, learning about hair colours,
Oh wow. Yeah.
and also a bit of sweeping, tidying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 3 different people there with three very different experiences. What do you find difficult? We'll go to Liam first. We'll go back to Liam first. But what things do you find tricky in these workplaces, or difficult or overwhelming?
Time limits. So when I was working in gardening, well, we had to have a certain amount of time for each job.
Right.
So, and then we have to travel to the next destination for the next job.
Yeah.
So we had a certain amount of time to do that certain task.
Yeah. And how did that make you? Well, why did you find that difficult, and how did it make you feel?
So if you're gardening and you didn't have a certain amount of more time, you have a limited amount of time,
Yeah.
it just puts pressure on the task.
Yeah.
When I was working in Tesco, we had the deliveries, we had to get through all of them in a day.
Mm-hmm.
And we used to get about 12 to 25 cage full of deliveries.
Yeah.
And then we used to have to like a certain amount of time to do that delivery.
Yeah.
And then we had to organise it in the back and put
Yeah.
it in the right place.
And did you?
And sometimes it's confusing
Okay.
where so for example, the item is not on the shelf. So we have to like zebra it. You probably know what the
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, great!
It's
right.
it's like
Go
a
on.
machine where you scan it and
Yeah.
tells you where it is.
And
Yeah.
did they do that in M&S?
Yeah, they did that in M&S.
They do that all
And
supermarkets.
did that help as a feature of the workplace? Did that help you?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Actually.
It-
It did
it
make
did.
things easier. Yeah.
Wicked.
So
I've never heard of it before.
it's like a machine where you scan it and
Yeah.
the barcode and it tells
Yeah.
you where the aisle is, where the
Specific products go
Yeah.
and stuff. And so was that because that's an organisational tool? Did that help? Did that help you both?
Yeah.
I found it easier. Yeah.
Cool. No, that's great. Thank you. I'll come back to you then because that marries up. But let's ask Miriam. So Miriam, what kind of things? We'll focus on the school experience. What things did you find difficult?
That's a good question.
It is a good question. What about the trays you were telling us before we started recording about the coloured trays for the meals? And you did something similar, right? Yeah.
yes.
And so
Yeah.
tell us about those because that is a very cool little organised feature that you benefited from, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what was that?
Well, in each of the baskets, they have like rubber bands, you call them.
Mm-hmm.
They like have red, green, brown, and I think there was blue and purple. I think,
Yeah.
and those colours represent like red ones means meat, I think,
Yeah.
greens means vegetarian. I think brown's more like jacket potato kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I think blue and purple's more like lunch deals kind of thing.
So that was you. Is that what they collected the lunch money in? So someone would go, "This is the meat meal," so they would.
Yeah.
Okay. And when did you used to go into the classes with it?
No, I don't.
Okay. I can imagine the classes being quite noisy and distracting.
Yeah.
What was that like if you did go into classes?
It would be too much and
So-
overwhelming.
Yeah, because they can be very noisy and busy places, can't
Yeah.
they? But it sounds like you enjoyed it. So it does sound like you found anything particularly difficult there.
You can say that, yeah.
Yeah, I think I admire your confidence with it all. But in terms of that, so you're quite sensitive to noise, aren't you?
Yeah, because it gets into my nerve with my hearing devices.
Yeah, and I can imagine being in a school, it could be quite difficult when you've got playtime, you've got lots of children and big groups in classrooms.
And kids goes outside and play and stuff.
Yeah, and then you've got kids.
That doesn't bother me that much anyway, because they're outside. I know I'm inside.
Yeah, okay, but that's so. But I think you do a great job there at being in an environment that is traditionally quite noisy. Mm-hmm. Brilliant. What about you then, Molly? So we talked about if there's too many tasks, you can find it quite confusing, can't you? Which is absolutely fine. Did any of the workplaces that you went to give you a lot of tasks to do?
Yeah, I'd say, yeah.
Could you give us an example?
Well, when I was in M&S also, there was a cafe and I had to work in the cafe quite a lot as well. And we had to swap roles quite a bit.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'd be in the cafe, then I'd have to go onto the shop floor to sort something else out.
Yeah.
They'd ask me to go swap to go on the till, then go and put clothes out on the shop floor, go back to the stock room.
Wow.
And then I got confused and I'd be in the wrong place at the wrong time sort of thing. And then too many things go off at once and I'd be like, oh no, I don't know what to do about this job.
Yeah.
And then a customer wants me on the till. It's a big queue of customers at the till and I'd be like, oh no, I've got to leave off that job to get onto the till.
Yeah.
And it'd be all kerfuffled and I'd lose track of what I'm doing.
And that would all be in one day.
Yeah.
So in one day they'd be like, you need it here, you need it here, you
Yeah.
need it here.
Yeah.
Okay. Did they ever adapt that for you? Did they ever go, Molly needs a bit of support?
Half and half, but I
Okay.
don't think they understood that I'm not very quick at things.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was a bit complicated in some ways.
So they kind of did you feel that they put you in areas that you could work in?
Yeah. They thought I could do more than what I could really all at once.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think I know what you
Yeah.
mean. So you mean you're given 5 areas to work in one day, which means you're not focused or concentrated on any specific one. That I can imagine.
And I got muddled up completely.
Yeah, and we all do that.
Yeah.
Making these videos is like that sometimes, isn't it, Adam? So it's not unusual. Yeah. So was what about the go on, the hairdressers? Was that a little bit better? Because
it was sort of a bit fast. You have to be fast,
Yeah,
really. You
okay.
can't leave customers waiting for the hair doing. So it's you'd have to, if you're doing a colour, you'd have to make sure it's on time. You can't just leave off the colour to go and do something else sort of thing. You'd have to make sure that colour's done before anything else.
Yeah.
And then you've got customers saying they'd like a drink at the same time, and then you've got to go and sweep up all the hair off the floor, take off their aprons, go and wash the hair colours off.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, oh no, which task do I do first again?
Yeah. That's quite overwhelming,
Yeah.
isn't it? Adam's got something to say.
Molly, did you ever leave the hair colour on too long and turn someone's hair green?
I have
orange.
slipped a little bit up with mixing colours
Oh, really?
before, yeah.
How did that work out? What colour did it end up?
I'd accidentally put, I think it was a normal box dye colour in with the other wrong box dye colour.
Right.
Because I wasn't really focusing what I was doing, as I was getting asked to do something else at the same time, so I did slip up
So
there a
what
little
colour
bit.
did the hair end up?
I think it ended up like a purpley browny colour.
And what did the customer say?
And they were like, oh no, that's not what I wanted. And I was like, oh no. I got rushed about to do it and I didn't really understand what I was doing.
So that was a bit of a learning curve then.
yeah,
to not
learning curve,
Focus
not-
on too many things at
Yeah,
once.
yeah.
It's great. So you've had a wide variety there, including Greg's Cafe as well. We're going to go to one of our videos now, because this episode was inspired by Courtney. We all know. Oh, we don't know Courtney. You know Courtney, because obviously students come on different days, don't they? But Courtney has a lot of work experience with her family, so we thought we would do a very special interview to get her to tell us all about it, because it was her idea. So if you are on YouTube, well done. You're going to see a bit of that interview now, and then there is going to be a longer version on YouTube for you to watch if you want to see the thing in full. If you're on Spotify, you can go downstairs. No. You can go into the show notes. I don't know why I said downstairs. Go into the show notes and see the full interview, but you'll get a quick audio snippet now. So, on the count of 3, I want you to do a little small clap. 1, 2, 3.
And I know you've got like a really nice relationship with your family, haven't you?
Yeah.
Tell us a bit more about your family.
My mum and dad's got pretty much their own business.
What kind of business is that? I know.
Butchers.
But, yeah.
Family butchers.
What's the butcher's called?
Dean's Family Butchers.
Award-winning, I believe.
Yep. Well, my dad is the boss of it.
Mm-hmm.
Even my mum mostly takes in charge of everything.
Okay.
I go and help Tuesdays.
Well, what do you do?
Clean, tidy, burgers, sausages.
So you make the burgers and you make the sausages?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I mostly serve customers that I know, but I just like doing behind.
Is it something that you struggle with when you're like serving people that you don't know?
Yeah.
What is
Because
it?
mostly I struggle like with money.
When you've got like a friend of the family come into the butcher's, is there a way that they help you?
Well, because some of them know that I suffer with epilepsy.
Yeah.
And then with like change or money,
Yeah.
they'll just tell me what they want, and then I will tell someone, and then they'll just hand me change.
So the right change, and then
Yeah.
you don't have to work out this is your change.
And then I
yeah.
don't have to work it out. Yeah.
Obviously, with your disabilities and stuff, that kind of stops you from being able to work, doesn't it? Like a normal full-time job or a part-time or even a part-time job. I guess like you've got your butchers that you help out at, and
Yeah.
that's a family space, isn't it?
Yeah.
How do you feel when you're there?
Happy. I feel more confident. It's like a safe space for me. Working at my mum and dad's shop, it's made me more independent. Like, and doing a lot of things. Because everyone in my family, like, works. So, growing up, I've been wanting to be like them. Because of my disability, it's not always easy.
Yeah, and I think that strong work ethic that comes from your family, that kind of manifests in the way that you're like, you love your cleaning.
Yeah.
And you love throwing yourself into like any tasks that need doing at work or create.
Yeah.
You're like, I'll do it. And
Yeah.
I think that's because of your family, isn't it?
Yeah. I always offer to help because I like helping others.
Okay, so that was our interview with Courtney. As I said, Courtney inspired the idea of talking about all of our different workplaces because she really wanted to talk about the butchers and her, how she was sort of the way she felt at school, how work makes her feel, but also the things that she can do and she feels comfortable doing and the things that she struggles with. So, you know, she does enjoy getting her hands dirty, making our burgers, making the mincemeat, license safe with all the health and safety equipment, and she does sort of work with customers and things like, you know, you two, well, all three of you have talked about, except she does, so she can sometimes get anxious with people she doesn't know because they don't know who she is, and she's scared, and then if they give her money, like you've said, you're not great with money, so or you know handling it, and you can get a little bit overwhelmed. So we're all the same. But what's great for her is that she feels accepted at work and they have made reasonable adjustments and customers are lovely to her, aren't they? And yes, what Greg was talking about earlier, it is the butchers in town, isn't it, Greg? Yeah. So, I'll come to you, Molly, first with this question because one of the things that's really good about what Courtney was talking about is that the general public are good with her because they are regulars at the shop and they know who she is. So they know how to adapt and communicate with her, and it's lovely. But have you ever had experiences like, what do you think the general public are generally like when you've been at work? Like, what are your experiences like? You know, do they understand that you have a disability, or do they make adjustments, or are they rude?
I think they think that I know everything.
Right.
And just like sometimes they can judge because of the way you look sometimes as well.
Yeah.
Like you know what you're doing when you don't actually.
Yeah.
Does that
Okay.
make sense?
So they're sort of making you feel like customers that you've had experience with take almost like, let's say, one look at you and just assume that you
can do it straight
Yeah.
away or something like that.
Yeah. And they will ask questions about everything, won't
Yeah.
they? It's not, they don't know that you've got one specific
They
department
don't
that you
know
work
that
in.
I've got some issues and stuff like that.
Yeah, the
and I
things,
struggle, yeah.
the struggles that you've got.
Yeah.
Do you tell them that you've got one, or do they try and guess?
Sometimes you can make it clear to them, saying like I struggle with stuff, so you might have to
Yeah.
bear with me a minute.
Yeah.
But like it's kind of hard to explain it sometimes. Like
When you've done that, if you have
Yeah.
done that, how have they generally responded to you? Good question, by the way.
like sometimes they do take it into consideration. Like they might slow down a bit with certain
Yeah.
things they tell you to do.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes it's like half and half, really.
Yeah.
It can be
Yeah.
a bit still hard to make them understand.
Yeah. The job centre is something that you've used before.
Yeah.
And I've used a job centre before, so I understand what it's like in there. But what's your general experience? Because, you know, you want to work, don't
Yeah.
you? We all want to work,
Yeah.
which we'll go into more detail shortly. But what was your experience of the job centre like when you talked to them about your needs and the things that you struggle with and things? Were they supportive or not?
They just kept saying, we'll find you a job like from in their building. Like
Right.
they've got to find us a job and put us in there and stuff. And
Yeah.
it could be anything. Like it could be, but straight away once I had someone say that like to push me into doing management straight away, and I'm like, what?
Really?
How can I do that? I don't know nothing about it. And
Wow.
like they said something about why don't you try being a manager or something. I'm like, I haven't got a clue. I ain't got the skills. I don't. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And was that even when you talked about the things that you are good at, the things that
Yeah.
you struggle with?
Yeah, they still like push me onto jobs what are not suitable for me at all, and it would
crazy.
just one
Totally,
thing after
I
another,
totally
really.
understand that part where you're mentioning.
Yeah.
Have you experienced that, Miriam?
Well, as I work in a charity shop, I was
Yeah.
a volunteer. It's more like assistant kind of job
Yeah.
to a manager, because I have a manager when I used to work at a charity shop.
Yeah.
And with that manager, I'm like a volunteer, like assistant kind of thing.
Did you feel confident doing that job, or did you find it difficult at times?
Difficult at times.
Yeah. And was that because there was maybe, I don't know, too many things to do, too many instructions?
Probably too many instructions and
Yeah.
load of tasks.
Yeah. Or all at once.
All at once.
Which is interesting. So that's two examples where you've been
it's
given.
like clumped like that.
Yeah, what a
Yeah.
great description. So again, it's a misunderstanding, isn't it?
Yeah.
They've not. That sounds to me like they've not really thought about you as an individual.
Yeah.
And they've kind of just
like pushed us into anything, really.
Yeah, I mean, at the job centre, that's what they do.
Yeah.
They did that with me.
Unfortunately, yeah.
But I ended up being a teacher through the job centre. I never thought I'd be a
Oh my
teacher.
God.
I know, scary. They went to me, do you want to be a teacher? I went, yeah, I suppose. I didn't even know. So that's how I ended up being a teacher. I'll put the question out to you, like people with learning disabilities or certain strengths and weaknesses, like
Yeah.
we've been talking about. Do you believe that you have the right to work and
Yes.
access to work?
Yes.
Yeah.
Go on, Liam.
Everyone should have the right to work,
Yeah, I
because
believe
it's
so.
basically an equal world,
Right.
equal qualities.
Mm-hmm. And you've got the capabilities. All three of you have got that, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, like most people have rights, most people have a voice, you know.
Yeah. And you're all capable of doing certain
Yeah.
jobs and certain tasks. And actually, some of the roles that you've talked about today are quite, I would say, quite good. Like your admin, you were really good at that by all accounts, and you enjoyed it. So, you know, you have a right to access that work if you can do it, and reasonable adjustments to be made. Yeah.
There's also
Yeah.
qualifications.
Yeah, go
That
on.
puts stuff that it does. When you've got a disability, like
Yeah.
for example, dyslexia,
Yep.
basically you struggle more in your exams.
Yeah.
So my parents said I did quite well getting
Okay.
a couple of GCSEs,
Yeah.
because most people with dyslexia and that kind of autism
Yeah.
spectrum and basically struggle to get the right GCSEs grades.
Yeah, I suppose I don't really know what else to say on that, but I think there's a strong resounding yes, you have the right to work, and you all enjoy working, don't you? So the next question is then, do you all, big question, do you want to work?
Yes.
Yes, I would.
Yes.
Okay,
I'm very serious about going out for work.
going to work, right? Miriam, tell us about how serious you are, because I can hear it in your voice. You are serious about work. So what are you doing behind the scenes then?
Well, at the moment, I'm like at home with my mum and dad, and we're like getting absolutely nowhere whatsoever with job wise because we actually have a lady that's helping me with it,
Yeah,
and she's trying to email schools around and everything,
yeah,
and my mum had a word for whenever it was before we went off for breakfast, whenever it was. And then one thing led to another. Then I came in texting her about it, and she still couldn't get through to anything.
right. So they're looking for roles for you, but it's
Yeah.
just not really finding anything.
Yeah,
You are actively, and it's perfect, your passion there for it. You are actively looking for a job. You desire work, but it seems like the process that you've got at the minute is just not really helping you do that. What kind of work is it that you're looking for now, and based similar to your other stuff?
well, I really like to work at schools at
Yeah.
school receptionist
Yeah,
to work somebody next to and beside to support me.
yeah. And it's there. You've done it once.
Yeah, and
So,
I can do it again.
I'm sure you can. Absolutely. And you've got the experience, you've got the work experience, you've got the work ethic, you've got the skills.
Yeah.
It sounds like the perfect environment for you. So if anyone out there, any schools listening,
Yeah, hello.
Miriam's here. It's brilliant.
I'm
Thank you.
desperate.
Excellent, Miriam. Thank you. That was fantastic.
You know what you're going to get from me?
Yeah, she sat right here. All these skills and knowledge that we've talked about just now. Miriam's passion is right there. So, let's see what happens. We might get some feedback. Who knows?
Hopefully you're being well.
All being well.
Hope it will work out.
I think it will.
But,
We'll get there.
But I know the Lord, because I know I trust in the Lord, and I can always lean on His own understanding.
Yeah,
Because I'm a Christian. I just thought to mention that because I'm a Christian.
So you've got the patience and you've got the faith.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Yeah.
Good. That's a good attitude to have. So, Liam, what about you? You want to work, don't you?
Yeah.
Now, you've had all that retail experience and such.
Yeah.
Would you look for work, or are you looking for work in that right now?
I will look for work.
Yeah. So what are the other things that you are interested in? I've got them written down right here,
I like
but I'll let you tell us.
facts and books and history.
Yeah.
So I would like to work in a library or
Yeah.
a museum.
Yeah. And have you done any? I mean, I'm sure there's jobs out there for people that like yourselves that love facts and history because it's right there. But have you done any applications or anything like that?
When it was that Kickstart program, that's how I got the Tesco thing.
Right.
It's from the government ages ago.
Yeah.
I applied for a museum, a placement,
Yeah.
but it was a bit far near Exeter. It sounded good, but then I got into that one, but then I chose to do Tesco instead. My parents signed me up for an autism job thing.
Okay. And is that the kind of jobs that are on there?
It's a 12-month non-paid work placement.
Yeah.
It's like 1-to-1. You've got like a support
Yeah. Yeah.
person, and then there's a 6-month pay thing, and then that may lead.
So it's like is it like a program for individuals with autism that gets you into the work that you're interested in?
Working place.
That's wicked. That sounds pretty good. Excellent. Thank you. Molly, then, if you were to go back into the workplace right now, what kind of job would you like to go back into? You've put here, play to my strengths. So what are your strengths?
Probably I'm quite good with animals as well,
Right.
I'd say.
Yeah.
I'd love to do something maybe looking after animals like dogs, cats, or anything really as well.
Yeah. So things like shelters and stuff.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Even like RSPCA or something like that, I think.
Yeah. Excellent. There's a lot of repetition in those as well, isn't there? Because you kind of have a routine with looking after an animal, and it has a certain. Even the animal has a, especially in like a rescue place, I can assume an animal has a routine and times for things. So that'd be really cool. And Greg's done some work in Worlow Farm, so and that's a similar thing to what Greg does. So that's something that we could look at as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's brilliant. So it's clear then there's opportunities out there. All three of you there have kind of described that you want to work, you make it, you're doing some proactive stuff around it.
Yeah, that's right.
And there are jobs that you like and offer. The job itself is suited to your needs, whether it be a nice routine, whether it be in an environment that you really, really like.
Indoor one.
Yeah, an indoor one. Or back in a school where all your strengths lie, Miriam. So, you've all got very specific skills, and there are jobs out there to support those skills. So that's great. We're going to show everyone now Work Limited. So in the last episode, we showed everybody the Create tour, but that's just one of our 2 locations where you come, right? Miriam, you go up to Work Limited, don't you?
Only on a Tuesday.
On a Tuesday. So we're going to show our audience that now. So if you're on YouTube, brilliant, you're here. You're going to get to see another tour video of different work experiences that we offer for students. Or if you're listening on Spotify, the link is in the show notes, and you can go and see the full thing, or you'll get a 30-second snippet. So on the count of 3, we're going to do a clap. Ready?
And you'll very enjoy it.
They will very enjoy it. It's going to be it was a great laugh making it. I'll tell you that. We had a right laugh. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Welcome to Work Limited. We are a charity for adults with learning difficulties, create new skills and make cool arts and crafts. We want to show you what we do here and give you a grand tour. When we arrive at work, we come to the locker room first. We put our belongings in a locker so they are safe. We have badges with our faces on to remind you which locker is yours. We then go to where we are working for the day.
Hi, I'm Maisie and welcome to the Work Limited workshop. One of our main activities is woodwork. We sand and paint for products, then stain or wax them for the perfect finish. We also do lots of artwork, including collages, paintings, drawings, and prints that become cards, calendars, and much, much more. We make wooden products to sell in our Etsy shop app as well as our cafe.
Come into the classroom. In this room, we do textiles and arts and crafts projects. We do sewing and printing to make products like cards, cushions and tote bags. We are supported by staff when we are using the sewing machine.
This is the glass room. In here, we make products like ornaments, hanging decorations and stained glass art. Students are supported to wear the correct PPE to keep them safe. Students draw out designs, shape the glass on the sand grinder, and help with the finishing touches.
Welcome to the tunnel. Students aren't usually allowed in here. The tunnel is where the wood is stored and cut to perfection by our staff. These designs then go to the workshop and then are shaped into our products.
Welcome to the resource room. So the main activities we do in here are cooking and baking. We're given a recipe. With the help of staff, we follow it step by step. Then we prepare the food for going in the oven to make sure it is the right temperature so our food is cooked properly. After we cooked, we have to clean up our equipment and workspaces for ourselves. This is good because it helps us become more independent. Once it's cooked, we unbox it up to take home or have it for dinner.
If you like workshopping, you can work in our cafe.
The Hidden Gem Cafe is award-winning cafe that sells food and drinks. Students who work in the cafe get to take drinks and cater to our customers. We can clean and clear tables and prepare for service. Our cafe staff are friendly and helpful to us. They encourage us to talk to customers and give them the confidence to work.
Before our satisfied customers leave, they can't help but buy our wonderful crafts for themselves or as gifts.
That's it.
Give yourselves a big round.
Yeah, clap.
So that was the tour of Work Limited, our other site. So we have Create and we've got Work Limited, and both of us together are two centres that offer obviously different things, as you've seen. We've got the shop here, we've got the cafe up there and all of that. We've got all these different spaces that are built to accommodate people's different needs, and we do our very best to make sure that everybody's in spaces that are best equipped for them, like, as Miriam said earlier, a quieter space rather than the cafe. Working in the shop here is a little bit less stressful because you've got these things, so that's why it caters to you. But then some students relish the cafe, etc., etc. So we do a lot of things here to support you with reducing those anxieties, making you more confident about certain life skills that are inevitable for all of us, like cooking, like cleaning, like general communication and understanding how to do some things. Like, we don't do necessarily do stuff like documentation and things like that. But one of the things that came out of the pre-production was your ambitions, because I think all three of you have got this ambition to be really, really independent, right? You all want that. Okay.
Yeah.
And we'll go, Miriam, we'll start with you. The positive side of it is that you've lived independently before, haven't you?
Yes, I have. In Warwick, where we all live independently, and it's it had a load of staffs and agencies.
So you lived independently with support network, didn't you?
Yeah.
And you moved to Sheffield last March.
Last March, the 3rd of March last year.
And you are now trying to re-establish that independence, which is brilliant.
Which I'm trying to again at the moment, as I said before.
Yeah. So so a lot of the things that we're doing, you're taking, you cooking, cleaning, making a quiet space for yourself. You do all that at home, don't you? Molly, you've lived independently as well, haven't you?
I'd say I'm a bit more responsible.
Yeah. Yeah.
As in, like, because I've had to be, like, in situations where I've had to take the dog out by myself.
Yeah.
I wasn't used to that, really. I wasn't used to staying in on my own.
Okay. Yeah, that's great.
That was another scary experience, like being in the house on my own. Having to cook myself, clean myself, try and figure out money situations. Yeah.
And do you feel like talking and communicating with your friends here and work, we've helped you balance that? That's great. Wonderful. So that's two. But Liam, you're currently at home, aren't you? Don't worry, I'm currently at home as well. So I know what it's like. But what kind of things have you taken away from work into your personal life?
Patience.
Oh, how so? It's a good one. How so?
Well, being more patient, like, if there's something, basically you have more wait for it to clear.
Okay, so we encourage you to be more patient with other people, don't we? And more empathetic. And that's not just you, that's like everyone in general, isn't it? We always talk about empathy and making sure that when people are communicating with you, that not everybody thinks the same thing as you. They don't think the same way as you. They might have different perspectives on life and different life experiences.
And different opinions.
Absolutely, and it's okay.
Confidence.
Yeah. Well, go on. What about, do you all feel more confident?
I totally agree where Liam is coming from in this.
Yeah.
Because I'm learning a lot from him as well since he's been at Create.
There you go. Look at that. So you're not just learning from us, you're teaching everyone else. Well done, Miriam. That's excellent.
I'd like to say thank you, Liam, for that.
You're welcome. You go blushing, but that's great. That's wonderful. But that's about it for today, I think. I think I'm going to wrap it up there. So we've talked about the work experience you've had, the things that you found difficult, and whether these workplaces adapt to you or don't, whether people understand it, your experiences around that. I thought it was really, really interesting. It was really nice to also hear how confident you were, Miriam, for example, at the school, and how much you loved it, and your drive to go and find that again. That you enjoyed the organisation of Tesco and the things that you like. I think it's impressive. Great that you've managed to work in places like Marks and Spencer's and deal with all those different jobs all at once. I think it's really, really good. So well done, everyone. So let's do a very quick round of applause, including Greg as well. Round of applause. Thank you, Greg. Okay. So, I think it's just for us to wrap up now. So that's episode 2 of 3. So, again, just to go over the socials, we have got Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Instagram is @worklimited_Sheffield. @worklimited for Facebook. And on YouTube, we are @worklimited. And don't forget that if you have questions for Miriam, Liam, Molly, or Greg, or any of the other students that have been on the pod, don't forget to leave them in the comments, and we will ask those questions at some point so that you get some interesting answers. We're on Spotify, and it's the It's Cool to Be Different podcast. Next month, we are going to be talking about food, good habits, bad habits. Do they eat healthily? Do they know what healthy foods are? Have we helped them? Do they like foreign food? Or do they like to stick to their own local cuisines? All these interesting things. Shopping as well. So have a great discussion. But other than that, I think that's the end of today. Have you enjoyed yourselves?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Good. Excellent. You enjoyed it, Greg? Greg's nodding his head. Okay. So all that's left to do is say a big goodbye, and we'll wave to the camera there. And then we'll do another round of applause. Ready? Goodbye. And
goodbye,
thank you for joining us.
And thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Woo.